right, here we go. Carver and Cuthbert here with you. Go Sports Radio on a Wednesday from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. A cold Wednesday afternoon at Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. But we are with you. We've got a lot to do today. Great to be back, Paulie. Mike Carver with you along with Paul Cuthbert. Paulie, good afternoon. How's it going?
Good afternoon, buddy. Hard to believe it's been a week already. And we're back at Borrelli's, my favorite place here in Long Beach. And it is a little chilly outside.
It is.
You could say it's maybe officially hockey weather or definitely getting close to college and football playoff weather. Love it.
Yes, you absolutely are here. And as we start things off today, Paulie, why don't we got a lot to do. We've got New York hockey to do. We've got football to do, college football playoffs. Everything happened. Knicks keep smashing teams, by the way. Knicks win by double digits every single night. But a little Giant football to start things off, Paulie. As they fire Dable, Jameis Winston's going to start on Sunday. It's quite times. You had your Giant hat on last week. Now you're,
I was excited, man, for at least a positive weekend more than anything. And it started out that way, and it ended poorly, and then it even got worse on Monday. Well, I mean, worse in one way. If you're happy if coach is gone, and or you're upset that he's gone, it's between seeing feeds online between former players, guys who've played, guys in the industry, half of it was a mistake, and the other side of it is it had to happen. There's nothing you could do with the record and everything else. Mismanagement of multiple things on and off the field. But he's gone, and the Giants have to move forward now. And they've got a running back who's no longer in the lineup, and currently their hotshot stud of a quarterback is also indefinitely out of the lineup as well, too.
He is indefinitely out of the lineup as well, too. And that's how it goes. Listen, he run about 600 designed runs for him. Eventually, you're going to get the guy hurt. And I think that partially played in a little bit, Paulie, with what went on here. But when you blow 3 double-digit fourth-quarter leads on the road, whether you talk about the Dallas game, the Denver game, which was really bad, and then Sunday in Chicago, there was other things people had problems with. I didn't have a problem with him kicking a field goal to go up 10 in the fourth. You got to get that game home at some point. But Mike Kafka will be the interim head coach. I know you wanted Bowen gone too. Very hard to do that in the middle of a season. You gotta get yourself the rest of the way home. But the interesting part is going to be Joe Shane's going to get to make the decision at the end of the year who he's going to go. Now, he's actually not going to make the decision. He's going to stay, Paulie, but I think it's Myron Tischer going to make the decision. The ownership will make the decision. But that still makes no sense to me why you would have Shane stay then at that point, especially since he did all those videos, all those draft videos, basically saying that this was Dable's pick and not mine when it comes to the
I didn't think as a Giant fan you could be more shell-shocked than the first, 9 games. And here we are on the other side of it. And, you could maybe take Dable's firing one way, but you'd still have at least Dart to look forward to in the lineup.
Right.
And that's not happening. So now you have Kafka in there. Lots of questions, and I don't know. I don't know where the team goes from here as far as who comes in and takes over, and just the rest of the season. I guess now we buckle in to the seatbelts on the weekend to watch these guys, and it's not so much, hey, let's watch what Dart does here and let's see if the defense can improve.
You get some fun with Winston now. Could be a lot of fun.
Look, we wish him well, right? We got to hope for the best here.
Score some points, throw some pick sixes. He's going to give you everything you want, Jameis Winston, over that time.
Oh man, but it's totally different. I mean, I was excited last week, even with the losing record. It was still exciting to watch Dart and watch what he was going to do every week.
Right.
So now that Dable's gone and he's gone right now, it's going to be a little different pulling up in front of the TV.
I said this to you before, and I'll say it again. If I'm a Giant fan, I want somebody who has some experience. I want somebody who's done it before. They've now gone. The last 4 coaching hires have been a disaster. Most of those guys, first-time NFL head coaches. I think you need somebody who's got a little bit of, experience and has done it before. Now, I know some people probably don't want to hear Mike McCarthy. You don't want to hear John Gruden. You don't want to hear Bill Belichick. You don't want to hear names like this. But you're going to need someone who's done it, not somebody who it's their first time doing it. That would be my opinion if I were a Giant fan going forward in that aspect.
Well, we're going to sit back. We're going to wait and watch and hold on
Yes.
tight and see what happens. But again, New York fans here should be kind of used to this, all the changes.
They should be.
And in addition to the lack of success, which we talked about last week here too.
Yeah.
But at least we'll get into it with some other New York teams locally are doing well so far in the start of this regular season that they're having, whether it's hockey or the NBA. But right now in football land, not going too well. And we've just got to deal with it.
You're just going to have to deal with it.
Unless, the Jets here might be turning the whole season around.
We're going to get there because the Jets are actually playing Thursday Night Football this week. They're coming off another win. They've won 2 in a row. I mean, listen, Jet football, baby. That's it. Aaron Glenn turning it all around. Now, look, they beat the Bengals and the Browns, but I don't think that matters. I think him getting a couple wins is a big deal. I'm not a big fan, Paulie, that he's still playing this tough guy routine with the media.
Yeah, you got a thing with Mr. Glenn.
Well, look, I don't think that it's when you've never won anything. I don't think that you should be doing the tough guy act. And what he did yesterday with a guy like Rich Cimini, who's covered the team for 30 plus years. I mean, Rich's job is to report news. He gets news that Garrett Wilson's hurt again. He's going to be out for a little longer. And Aaron Glenn takes a shot at him at the press cut. I'm not talking about injuries anymore. You can go ask Rich. He's got all the information. Like, dude, calm down. Take a breath. Like, just worry about, you've actually won a couple games now. How about worrying about showing up Thursday night? And the other thing with the quarterback drives me nuts too, that he thinks he's getting some competitive advantage by not telling who the starting quarterback's going to be. Like, Aaron, like, you're not choosing between.
There's not a lot of excitement there in Jet camp, bro. So you might as well keep everybody on their toes here.
He's choosing between Tom Brady and Joe Montana. Like, let's calm down with that stuff. It's Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor. What are we? Just who cares who you say the quarterback is? Now, New England's been playing really well. We're going to play the Jets.
They're going to be wearing some sharp digs on Thursday night too, buddy.
I saw those
sharp digs.
The icy. I guess they call that the rivalry jersey now.
Northern Lights or something like that. I don't know.
Did you go out and watch the Northern Lights last night? Did you go out and take a look?
No. I had my sunglasses.
I saw actually people on the Cape were actually able to see it real well. Up in Massachusetts and up there, they got a good look at it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, next time they come around, we'll get in the Winnebago.
We'll talk more about that game actually, obviously tomorrow, because the game's tomorrow night in New England. But can you get a big effort out of them after a few wins in New England against the Patriots? Can you get a big effort out of the Jets on Thursday night?
The New York Jets.
Is that a no?
Well, I mean, why not? They should be. I mean, it's something positive, right? They got to carry it over from the win, go in there. Obviously, we talk about games that you got to have, or games that a franchise wants against a divisional rival here.
Right.
So why not go out and say, why not us? And let's see what happens. On the other side for the Patriots, they can't take this lightly. They got to take care of business, and they got to clean the Jets clock, and that's period.
Well, look, I'll tell you this: in the world that I obviously live in, with talking about the point spread.
World. Oh yeah,
talking about the point spread, I actually think the Jets might be able to stay within that number tomorrow night.
All right,
I actually think they might be able to. I think short week. New England's been obviously. They've had a couple close calls with some of these bad teams they've played the last few weeks. And they took care of business in Tampa. New England's very good. But I'm still not a believer the Patriots are just going to go blow everybody away every week. I just don't see that. Division game,
that buzz,
short week.
Nobody thinks they're real. Nobody thinks they're going to be there in the end.
Well, you get into a little bit of a bigger conversation with the AFC, and you've got the 3 teams everyone expected to be the favorite.
It's a horrible division.
Which is Kansas City, Buffalo, and Baltimore. And then you've got these 4 teams that have played great this year that I still think people would pick the pot with Kansas City, Buffalo, and Baltimore, as opposed to Indianapolis, New England, Chargers, and the Broncos. All 4 of them have played great. But still the favorites, if you look at the betting board, is still Kansas City and Baltimore. And now Buffalo's not winning anything. So I'll tell you that right now. Buffalo's not going to win a thing this year.
Some effort there, pal.
They need a complete. They have gone as far as they could possibly go with this guy, McDermott. It's time. Like,
Really?
they need a new voice.
Right now?
I'd fire him now.
Really?
But they're not going to do that.
Right now?
I'd fire him now and try to get something going for the rest of the year. But they're not going to do that.
If they fire them,
don't want
should the Giants hire him?
No. Although that actually would qualify as a guy with experience who has won in the league. So, but I just think that, he's gotten them to a point that they can't cross over.
What
And
happened to
someone
Miami,
else
buddy?
has to.
What happened?
Buddy, they look like they didn't even want to be there. And that's on the head coach. And there's going to be games, and they've had 2 of them this year, Miami and Atlanta, where the lack of weapons in the wide receiver department, the Bills have a pretty easy game plan right now. If you could stop Cook and stop their run game, which is what they're built on, they have a hard time throwing the football all over the place because their wide receiving core is, I don't have a problem. I think it's the worst in the NFL. I would take any of the other 31 teams' wide receiver rooms over the Bills. And I like Shakir. He's a good player. I'm talking about as a whole, the entire group. I would take just about every single team in the league over them.
The way you're talking, are they going to make the playoffs?
Maybe not.
Ooh. Well, that's
they will.
So that gives the Jets a better chance.
They will, because they have too many games on their schedule that they're going to overwhelm the other team.
Yeah.
They got a lot of games at home.
Well, you would have thought that on Sunday against the Dolphins.
Yeah,
no?
but road games are a little different. And then they had beaten the Dolphins so many times in a row. It was, it was bound to happen eventually.
So it was a gimme.
But they didn't show up. When you don't show up, it's not like you can't just get by on how much better your roster is than the other teams all the time.
But isn't that an NFL thing for quite a lot of teams in this league not showing up?
Sure, it happens all the time. It happens a lot. But I think that the NFL is truly one league where it's like, the other guys get paid too, and they get paid well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that shows up more in this league than it does, because there are very bad teams, but they do have talent, and they can win any day against anyone. That's why you do see the kind of upsets that you do see. You saw that. I mean, last week, 2 weeks ago, you had a bunch of upsets, whether it was Carolina and Green Bay. You had there was another double-digit upset off the top of my head. I'm forgetting right now. But there's a bunch of them every week, Paulie. You can find them. And the Bills got it on Sunday against Miami.
Well, if you jump around some of the scores from Sunday, is there anything that really stood out for you? I mean, outside of, your Bills there, and the Giants obviously doing the same thing.
I believe that what's happening, the NFC's fun right now because you have a bunch of teams that are really fascinating. And the Rams are playing the Seahawks this week in Los Angeles. Such a big game. The Lions are playing the Eagles on Sunday night. So you got four of the 5 top teams in the NFC playing each other this Sunday. Just some massive games. So that's really cool. I'm into it. That's kind of the I'm interested to see Seattle. They've been so good on the road. I think they've won. I think it's 8 or 9 in a row on the road.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to LA to play the Rams, who I think could be the best team in the NFC. They could be. So that's a very fun game for us. And that's actually a buried game. It's a 4:05 game, whereas Kansas City and Denver is actually the national 4:25 that most of the country will get. You got to really dig into that $500 Sunday ticket to get your hands on the Rams and the Seahawks on Sunday. But I think it's a good slate this week for it. And that NFC, I said this to you last week with the Eagles winning. If they would have won Monday night, which they did, and it was not too many exciting scoreless games at the half, but it did have some moments to it, and it did have some excitement, and it was a great win for the Eagles, and that kind of gives them the runway now, Paulie, there in the NFC, as far as I'm concerned, maybe being that top seed. So that's where I'm at. You got to tell me a little bit. We got some Borrelli's action in here before we move on to something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Always great stuff going on here, Borrelli's, and that's where we are broadcasting every Wednesday and Thursday live, open daily for lunch here from 12 to 3 p.m. with some great lunch specials. And in addition to a great live sportcast they got now with Carver, they also do comedians and live music coming up this Friday, the 14th. If you like dub ska and reggae, the Dirty Rockers are going to be in here. Free show, 9 o'clock. Come on down. Great time, great vibes. And next Wednesday, as far as top comedians coming in, Colin Quinn will be here on the 19th. I believe there's some tickets still available. Check out Borrelli'sTaproom.com for more information on that. And then coming in on Tuesday, December 2nd is Des Bishop, comedian as well. Great stuff. And on Wednesday, December 10th, there's a pasta making class here. They do it quite often here at Borrelli's, and it's usually always sold out. So come down. In addition to that, just a great menu down here, great variety of tap beers and specialty drinks. And it's brick oven pizza, great staff, great people. So we're absolutely proud to be here at Borrelli's, be a part of this. And we appreciate Borrelli's management for having the Carver and Cuthbert show right here on Sports Radio.
We got
right here in Long Beach, New York, baby.
Crowd at the bar today. What did Boots get for lunch over there? Boots got there you go, the Capri sandwich for Bootsy today down at Borrelli's Taproom.
Good, yes.
And there's always themselves involved for us. So Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, here from Borrelli's Taproom on a Wednesday. Of course, we're here every Wednesday and Thursday, noon to 1:30 East, and streaming, of course, here on X and on YouTube. All right, so we'll do a lot more NFL tomorrow,
yes,
Paulie. Especially we'll go through all the games for Week 11, including that Jet Patriot game to start things off. All right, college football playoff rankings from last night. I had a very mixed bag Saturday, by the way. A lot of the games early in the day I got smashed, but then I had a rally at night. I had some good ones at night. Wake Forest, Hawaii on the Big Island. So I had a good. I know a lot of things that we talked about last week didn't go well for me, specifically Mississippi State.
Yeah, and I didn't bring the sheets back to bury you. I'm not going to do that, you know.
Mississippi State got smashed by Georgia. But, of course, the college football playoff rankings were released. We're getting down into the home stretch now, Paulie. And Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Texas A&M 3, Alabama 4. As I said to you last week, people want to bellyache about this stuff. I don't want to get too crazy into it, because there is still too many games left to be played.
It's going to keep changing here.
But the interesting part is, there's two spots that are going to be very interesting to me. One is the ACC spot, which they have Miami as the top-rated ACC team, but the problem is Miami's they're going to need a lot of help to get in the ACC title game. I think that's the only way that they can get in. And they do have Miami at 15th this week. So they're not too far out from that 12, whether they make the game or not, but it seems like a one-bid conference. And then you now have South Florida pulling in as the group of 5 team in the top 25 with a chance, if they can win out, to maybe go ahead and take that spot. But otherwise, nothing really changed beyond that. Georgia, Texas Tech smashed BYU, missed on that one. Ole Miss, Oregon, Notre Dame, Texas, Oklahoma. Utah's coming up now at 13, and they might have a chance to sneak in the back door along with Vandy. So, it's hard. Now, I will bring up Notre Dame for this reason.
You got to.
2 coaches this week kind of took a shot at Notre Dame. And I don't really like when that happens. Maybe you want to
name names, or you want to keep
I'll name names. I'm
gonna
name names. And I don't like when guys do this. And maybe you're going to call me Notre Dame homer. That's fine. I don't mind if anybody wants to go ahead and do that.
Let's just get this out in the open. We are Notre Dame Irish homers right here. So let's just get it out.
We are. So we can go ahead and say this.
Let's go.
There are still people that bellyache that Notre Dame doesn't play in a conference, that Notre Dame plays this easy schedule, blah, 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 which is nonsense too. They set these schedules up years in advance. Some years you're going to get lucky and you're going to play better teams. They play a fixed 6 games with the ACC every year. That's a rotational basis. You never know where that falls. It's not Notre Dame's fault. There's years that USC sucks, or there's years that other teams suck. They played a home and home with, I forget who it was the other year. Like, they played Texas A&M this year, who ends up being a top 3 team. They lost at home to them on a last-second missed extra point and all that. So, but Joey McGuire of Texas Tech started it this week by, I guess, after they played BYU, he starts going into all the respect he has of BYU for joining a conference because, they could have stayed as an independent like other people do. Joey, just say Notre Dame. That's what you're talking about. Like other people do. Just come out and say it. Have the stones to go out and say, I'm going to take a shot at Notre Dame here for not being in a conference. You want to know why BYU went to a conference, Joey? Because BYU doesn't get their own TV deal from NBC. Nobody's tuning in to watch BYU home games every Saturday on NBC. That's why BYU went to the Big 12, to enhance their exposure. And it was a great move by them. I love that they went to the Big 12. I think it's great. It's good for their conference.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame, I know you don't like hearing it, the Notre Dame haters, they don't need a conference. Okay? And whether you want to say, well, it goes against the system, well, then they're going to continue to play the system, because as long as they're going to be allowed to not be in a conference, schedule their schedule, have a chance to make the playoff every year, get all that big bag of money from NBC, they're going to keep doing it, Paulie.
Yep.
So Joey Maguire can go take his shots at Notre Dame, because he's, that's fine and good. And then you got this other goon, Narduzzi, who's the head coach of Pitt, and they're playing Pitt this week in Pittsburgh. And Pitt is now a ranked team. They're about in the 20s. They're right there, and they have 7-2, and they got a chance to go to the ACC title game. So Narduzzi was asked on Monday, just a big game for you guys. You got Notre Dame. And he downplays it as, well, this game doesn't matter what happens in this game. It's not an ACC game. Basically like making a comment, like, well, Notre Dame's not in the ACC, so who cares? I hope that Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman go into Pitt this week, and they completely smash this clown. And they can. Their offense is good enough to do it. And I think they'll be, and I know there's been a couple weeks here that they have not maybe had the foot on the gas. They didn't in Boston College 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did against Navy on Saturday night, and they kind of put them away and coasted after that. I think that Freeman's going to motivate this week. We've got two coaches in the media kind of talking bad about us, people saying we've got 2 losses and we don't deserve this. I think this is a smash job for Notre Dame on Saturday, and Pitt just to shove it at this guy Narduzzi. He was a clown. Complete clown.
Well, in addition to all that stuff, and what,
in addition to all that stuff,
well, I mean, there's, what they call that, inspiration or whatever, to go out and beat an opponent. But just as far as where, Notre Dame just has to go out and win every game here for the rest of the way anyway.
And they're in.
Yeah. So, I mean.
And that's, and some people don't like that, Paulie. They don't like that Notre Dame doesn't play in a conference championship game. They don't like that they get a quote unquote easy path to get into the college football playoff. Well, go tell NBC not to give Notre Dame $1 billion.
Yeah, the flip side of that is that the organization has that much pressure on them to be successful every year.
Right.
Because and all of us Notre Dame fans know, when it's bad in Notre Dame, it's bad. Yeah. And it's unacceptable. It's almost like the same vein as like the New York Yankees. They're that kind of a team. And maybe you used to be able to say that about the Dallas Cowboys years ago.
Yeah.
But it's just part of it. So I get the jealousy. I get, where these coaches are coming from. And, it's just all part of, guys just, shooting their mouths off anyway. And it's also, who knows, is it part of him getting his team getting amped up too, to be ready for these guys or whatever the heck it is, and whatever their own selfish needs are as far as their path to any success themselves on their side of the play.
Correct. And listen, we say this all the time, and it's been said for years, and it'll continue to be said. Notre Dame is, it's hate them or love them. There is no real in between when it comes to the Irish. And the Irish are 7-2.
Now, the Irish people or just the Irish football team?
Irish football team. Now, Notre Dame's going to play Pitt this week, Syracuse at home, and at Stanford. They're going to be 10-2, and they're going to make it, whether you like it or not. Now, it's going to be a different pattern this year. They're going to have to go on the road in that first game. They're not going to get a home game like they did last year. And that's okay. But to say Notre Dame doesn't win big games, Paulie, last year they beat Indiana, Georgia, and Penn State on their way to the national title game.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good to me. I would say that's 3 bigger wins than Kelly had in his whole entire tenure at Notre Dame. And he played in a national championship game, got smoked by Alabama, smoked every time he was in the playoff. Freeman got him to the title game, and one game. They beating Georgia and Penn State last year was huge for him.
He's such a good coach.
I'm tired of this. Notre Dame gets in on just because they're Notre Dame and they're there because of television and they're there. Go, oh yeah, well then go and beat them.
Yeah,
go and beat them. And well, they're close losses. Look, I understand people are going to have a problem if Miami and Notre Dame are both 10-2, and Notre Dame gets in and Miami doesn't, because there is a part of me, Paulie, that when you talk about all this, and we did this a little bit last week, there's 12 teams that get in now. There's got to be some head-to-head element that matters at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Or else these games, what do they mean? So I will understand that. If it all, now I don't think it's going to end that way because I think Miami's going to lose another game. So I don't think it'll end that way. But I do get that side of it from a head-to-head perspective. But just the general throwing around, well, they don't play in a conference, so they don't deserve this and that. Shut up.
It's just hate, man. It's hate. It's just a shame. It's just hate.
It's
what are you going to do?
And that's what it comes down to.
You can't all like the Irish, It's a special thing. You know what I'm saying?
We love them. We
love
all the Irish people too.
Yeah, well, Kind of forced into that, my friend. But what, tomorrow we'll do a look at the college
we'll go through the
football
games
schedules
tomorrow.
coming
On
up this
Thursday.
weekend.
That's like a Thursday now. Go Sports Radio, Borrelli's. That's going to be like, during
NFL
football
and
season. All the
CFP.
NFL and the biggest college football games we will go through and get it. I mean, I can't interest you tonight, and there is some MAC games tonight if you want to get involved in Northern Illinois and UMass in the MAC. UMass 0-9, 12-point dogs at home tonight. I can interest you in some MAC.
That is I mean,
get you involved in a little
the
MAC
other
shit
side
tonight.
of college football with the programs who are just awful.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, and just having the student body show up for these games.
Yeah.
What do you call them? Friends and family?
Friends and family game, which is what I still, the weather wasn't as bad for Jets and Browns as I thought it was going to be on Sunday, but I still can't believe people went out there. Always leave stuff in the chat if you would like to. And this is in the college football realm and the Brian Dable realm. So Steve puts in the chat, is Dable a dart throw for the Penn State coaching job? Now, Brian Dable does have some college experience, obviously was on Nick Saban's staff in Alabama. So it's not like he's completely blind to college football. He knows it, but that was a little while ago, and this is a different college football than it was a few years ago. Much different college football.
On the ego side of it,
I
it's
think
a step
that
down?
No, I don't.
No.
I think that honestly, Paulie, getting paid $8, $9, $10 million a year to coach one of the big college football teams, I don't think there's no
it's
step
not the only
down.
gig available either. So.
But it's not what it used to be. Okay. It's not what it used to be in terms of, it's not like you're going and recruiting kids. Now there's the portal and the money and all the things that you have to deal with now. You've seen some of the best guys, even with Saban, et cetera, just walk away and say, I'm not doing it anymore. I don't know if Brian Dable wants to do all that. I think Brian Dable is going to be back in the NFL next year. I don't think it's going to be as a head coach. I don't see him getting the Penn State job. I think that Penn State is going to they are going to pluck another coach from another program. I've seen somebody bring up this week, Eli Drinkwitz from Missouri. I've seen some guy, they're going to pluck a coach from another job. Is that the best thing? It's hard. They're not the best job on the market.
Mm-hmm.
LSU is. LSU is the best job available. Is Florida better than Penn State? It's hard to equate all those.
It's been a long time since there's been so many openings at so many good schools.
There's a ton of huge openings. I don't see Brian Dable. His daughter goes to school there too. And that's what part of the reason he had the Penn State sweatshirt on when everybody was snapping pictures of him coming out of his house.
Yeah.
Where that was yesterday. So his daughter does go to Penn State.
Be a trip.
I don't know. I know it's nothing surprises me anymore with college athletics. So
would Penn State be interested in him? I mean, maybe if you're Dable, like, hey, let me get over this quick. Let me get back, behind the team and just get going. I couldn't even imagine jumping into.
I don't know what to think of guys going from the NFL to college anymore because college is so different.
Yeah,
it's so different. I don't think guys can jump from college. I've seen people talking about Lane Kiffin being the Giant coach because he was with Jackson Dart at Mississippi. That sounds great, he's been in the NFL before. Lane Kiffin was the coach of the Raiders. He's coached 25 teams at this point between college and the NFL.
I watched Dart last year. Maybe I have qualifications.
I feel like you could get on a staff as, offensive quality control assistant. We could get you in somewhere.
I'm not good at audio control.
And all these guys go up the ladder. That McDaniel for the Dolphins, he started, that guy did it all before he finally became the head coach.
When we've got nothing to talk about.
Did you like him
You'll
driving
have to explain to me how he got the job?
McDaniel?
Yeah.
Did you like him driving by the elbow room with all the Bills fans
that was
there?
a great burn, man. That was awesome.
And the Bills fans, I'll say this, they travel.
That's what he's got, man. That's all he's got really going on. I mean,
like that ride he was in too. He had a sweet ride coming around the elbow room, kind of giving them the business.
They're paying well. They're paying well these days, man.
I've talked to Dolphin fans, and I know a few, unfortunately, who actually want him to come back now next year. Well, I don't like Dolphins. I hate the Dolphins, but they want him now to come back. They felt like they fired the GM. That was the problem. They want the nerd back next year.
All right.
Nerd football, baby.
Nerd football.
Why not? Get him in there.
I don't know.
Mike McDaniel driving by the elbow room. I didn't have any problem with it at all. So we will do lots of college, all the games for this week. And they're massive games, by the way, Paulie. Massive games. Georgia against Texas. Alabama, Oklahoma. We mentioned Notre Dame is going to Pittsburgh. That's a big game, too, for a lot of things. There's some other thing. There's this ACC mess. Virginia's playing Duke. There's a lot of really big games, so we'll go through all of them tomorrow on the show with us. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, coming at you from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. Unbelievable place. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and get into some pucks. We've got pucks to do. We've got hoops to do. I've even got some MLB for you today.
Oh, I want to talk some
because the general managers meetings are going on in Vegas this week. Every general manager usually shows up to them. But when you got cushy gigs like Brian Cashman, you don't got to be there. You don't have to go. Okay? When you have a job for life. And I'm sure some story's going to come out that he had some family emergency. That's probably why he's not there. Whatever. Boone's not there either. But you're the Yankees. Status quo. Just do whatever you want. So we'll do some of that later on as well. Go Sports Radio from Borrelli's. We'll come back right after this. Yeah. And we're back. Go Sports Radio. Carver and Cuthbert from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach here on a Wednesday. We're here tomorrow as well, noon to 1:30 East. Everybody hanging out on the stream as well. Good crowd in the stream today, which is nice to see.
Come on in and see us. Hang out
Come
with
on
us.
in and see us. Boots gave me the thumbs up on the sandwich that he had. Eddie from Columbus was still talking about the food 2 days later after he was here last week. So,
and just let me tell everybody, you come in here during the show here, you get the wood-fired sandwich, a cup of soup, salad, or fries for $12. Come on in. $10 pizzas here at Borrelli's from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Yes.
And they got the brand new Philly cheesesteak croquets.
Whoa.
Buy one, get one free. So, and the oven's always on.
I'm getting that. I'm ordering that tomorrow when we get here. I'm going to put that in. I have to take it home because we're doing the show, but I'm putting that in tomorrow when we get
Only the good stuff here at Borrelli's.
Philly cheesesteak croquets.
All right, Mike, a lot of stuff going around here, not only locally, but in multiple sports here that we want to get into. So we'll pick your poison.
I want to start here because we are, of course, we talk about everything, but we especially talk about hockey on this show. We love hockey, and we're gonna get involved here because the Islanders are clearly the best team in the tri-state area after they beat the Rangers and the Devils on Saturday and Monday night. I mean, and great win. That was the first Devils loss at home this year. They shut the Rangers out Saturday night at the Garden, which I know isn't a hard thing to do. Everybody's been doing that this year. But still, Islander hockey as they head west to Vegas for a game on Thursday night. I'd love to be on that road trip. But the Rangers did win a game at home. Paulie. They did finally win a game at home, and they scored a bunch of goals against Nashville. So it's been a fun couple of days in New York hockey.
Yeah, hey, more power to the New York Islanders for coming into the house. I did say last week that they were going to win the game. So
You did say that.
I didn't know they were going to win.
Smoke them 5-0. You didn't think that was going to happen
confidently as they did. But there you go. The Rangers right now, look, they get Trocheck back and they win their first game there at the Garden. And they beat up on the Predators,
So that's the secret elixir.
Yeah, play the Predators every night and you'll have a chance.
Let me ask you this, because you're watching the team night in, night out. What is different home and road? What is the difference between the team on home ice and when they hit the rack? Because they're in Tampa tonight against the Lightning, and Lightning got a bunch of guys in and out of the lineup. They're banged up a bit here too, but Rangers seem like a different team when they're on the road as they head to Tampa.
Well, there's a few different things going on there, and this goes on with any team in any sport. Couple of key things. So Trocheck comes back into the lineup, which totally changes what Sully can do.
Yeah.
All right. It improves everything from the top six, so you're good there. So that's a big thing. We have a couple of new pieces defensively on the squad as well. And, a couple of guys up front here that are kind of readjusting to, Sully's system, everything else. I mean, yeah, he's an experienced coach. He's coming in here. I think he's just as boring as Laviolette was last year. But, I think the work's got to be put in, and we'll have to see what happens. I mean, their goals against is pretty awful. Shesty is still he's just not that guy that, you'd hope would be consistently, stopping. When Quick gets in there, he actually almost is a better look for the Rangers.
Right.
He's played better. He's played better on the road there too as well. So look, me, if you're hockey, it's way too early. It just is. Now, I know we're reaching the 20 game mark. Teams are getting their grass.
It's a quarter in. That's
yeah, but you know the deal, man. So much happens.
A long way to go.
Yeah, it's just the way to go. So look, the Rangers just got to, they got to come back and just continue to win and see if this system kind of plays out a little bit. Let the new guys kind of get into the system here. We got a couple of young kids that are coming up. They're going back and forth with Peralt. Bradinsky, Laba's in there, he's a young kid. Laffy's put the puck in here. He put up a couple points here the last couple of games. He's getting his feel and stuff like that. So, and, it was good to see guys like Zibanejad scoring the other night as well, too. So maybe they needed that game against the Predators. It would have been better if they had it against the Islanders. But again, maybe Trocheck is a big difference here. And he's a massive player for this New York Ranger team. When they were going back and forth as far as who was going to be captain, it was no doubt between Trocheck and JT Miller. And I think if Trocheck had got to see everybody, all the fans would have been totally happy with that. So he comes back. We'll see if he can kind of carry this team forward and, put pedal to metal here and see what happens. So they're in the mix. The division itself, the Devils are pulling away a little bit, but everything's kind of close. It's going to stay that way.
Win 15 out of 17, and suddenly you're,
the Islanders were struggling going into that game. I mean, they've had a really good season as far, and Schaefer's been a great story. And I think Darche in there is definitely a breath of fresh air. I think the whole demeanor about the Islanders as a franchise and letting this kid kind of go, and I think Roy is a little more settled in here. I think it's good stuff. I've always said, like I said, if the Islanders and the Devils are playing well, it's better for the Rangers because that means they got to get their act together. And if that happens, then it's good for all three fan bases around here. And the games will be that much more important when they get together. And great win with the Isles in the Garden the other night. And now you can't wait for the next game. And I'm sure the Rangers can't wait for the next game against the Islanders. So we'll see. Like I said, I don't want to get too crazy into it as far as the rest of the league and where things are going here and stuff as far as teams. There's the Avalanche are up there right now is probably one of the clear favorites.
I watched a little bit about the Avalanche and the Ducks last night because California hockey.
Yeah.
Been real good. The Sharks got an overtime win against Minnesota last night. The Kings won in Montreal. The Ducks have been playing before losing last night. The Ducks were on fire playing these wild back and forth games.
In there.
And California hockey's been really fun to watch. The Kreider's played very well for them. The Islanders for me, Paulie, and I know I'm probably going to say it almost every week when we do these shows because they're going to play 2 or 3 games each week when we come back. And I'm going to say to you the same thing. The games are fun to watch. Watching Islander games is fun. They're not going to win all of them. They're going to have nights. Now, you want to know why they won Monday night? That was the best game Sorokin played all year. It was Monday night against the Devils. Over 20 high danger chances for the Devils on Monday night. And Sorokin was so good. And he had not been that good this year.
You're not going to start with those terminologies from your high danger.
High danger chances. You got little charts and graphs here on the show once in a while.
Come on, man.
Charts and graphs.
I don't want to hear that
High
stuff.
danger chances is what you want to have in there here and there. But
did he stop
those are games where teams are smothering the Islanders that much. In the first month of the season, they were losing those games 6-3. So Sorokin plays that well. That's why you get a 3-2 overtime win against the Devils on Monday night. So if you're going to tell me he's going to play to the level you think he can, could the Islanders drift around a playoff spot for the entire season? Sure, they absolutely could. But they're going to lose a lot of 5-3 games. They're going to win a lot of 5-3 games. They're a fun team with the best player in town. That much has now been established. Matthew Schaefer's the best player in town.
So what you were just saying there, too, and I'll ask you as an Islander fan, and, in terms of watching these guys, having a kid like Schaefer step in like the way he does, and he's given Mawa something that he really hasn't had since he's been here. And because the kid plays a two-way game. He's tough. He's physical. But that in itself, what I'm asking you, you're talking about, the old ways that the Islanders are playing. That might change for them now. Well, I mean, instead of maybe losing 3 or 4 in a row, they might go win 2, lose 2, win 2, lose 2.
And they might do that. And let's also remember this. What he's doing with Schaefer so far, I don't know if you can play an 18-year-old kid 22 minutes a night for the entire year when he played like 15 games last year in junior. Like, I don't know how long that's going to last. That's the one thing I think he's so young that there's got to be a point where maybe you do have to pull the reins just a little. You don't want to because it's so much fun to watch. But maybe I
don't think Waugh's that kind of coach, man.
I don't think Waugh probably isn't that kind of coach because what is Waugh also thinking? I got to win to keep my job. So, and he's my best player, so I'm just going to keep rolling him out there. Now, Horvat's been extremely good. Bo Horvat's had an amazing run, and he's been playing some good hockey too. So, Islanders are fun to watch. Rangers are back in the mix. I saw Steve ask me here in the chat, Rangers over under 91.5 points. So we have a gambling question, and I will take those on the Go Sports Radio show if you have them. I would actually take the over 91.5 for the Rangers.
I wouldn't.
What, you would?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No.
I'm going to tell you why. They are not going to play this bad at home all year. They are where they are right now, and they've been awful at home. They are going to start winning games at home like they did the other night against Nashville.
Mike,
and they will get over 91.5.
I have to be intentionally negative against the Rangers to have them prove me wrong. Okay. So
Islanders are 87.5.
Yeah.
Rangers are 91.5. Islanders are 87.5. Take the under for the Islanders. Under 87.5. Devils are 103.5. You want it where all 3 locals are in that realm on the big board.
Well, you start at the bottom down there. Columbus with what's that? 8 wins. Caps with 8 wins. Rangers with 8.
Columbus games wins. The last 2 nights.
Philly with 8 wins.
So wild.
Pitt with 9 wins, and then you have the Devils and Carolina up top with 11.
Pittsburgh going to Sweden. They're in Sweden now to play Nashville on Friday and Sunday. Global series. Hey, Penguins in Nashville in Sweden this weekend.
Did you see? Remember we talked about how you really weren't a fan of the European football games.
Hate them.
Well, our buddy over at all the sport network. Well, let's just say NHL Network. And we love him, and he's awesome.
Yeah.
And Kevin Weeks had tweeted out yesterday, and I sent it to you, and I wasn't sure if you saw it.
Oh, I saw it.
But he talked about that the NHL now.
This is an outdoor game in Europe.
Might start thinking about doing an outdoor game overseas.
Now, I'll say this. Where overseas is where you, because listen, the NHL is different from the NFL in this aspect.
England's got a league.
The NHL has a very large percentage of their players that are from Europe.
Yeah.
Which is why
KHL's out there.
They have this thing this week where they're sending the Penguins and the Predators to Sweden to play in Stockholm.
Sweden is a huge
and they do this
country.
every year. Last year, the Panthers and I forget who it was that was with them. It actually might have been the Preds because the Preds
Kings
have a lot
in Australia there a couple of years ago too. It went well.
Australia's a little.
I mean, these weren't outdoor games. These weren't outdoor.
These are just regular games. So they're playing these at the big arena in Stockholm on Friday afternoon and Sunday morning. So Sunday morning, 9 a.m., Penguins, Predators, or Washington Dolphins in Madrid, 9 a.m. Sunday morning. Where are you where you're tuning into. I hate the NFL games. But to get back to Weeksy, it's a little different because if you put the right teams there in the right country, you could sell the game. All it takes is a huge European player, and you can go and do it. And I believe it was it might have been the Panthers and Blackhawks last year, because the Panthers have a lot of Finnish players. I think that they played in Finland a year ago. The NFL, the players aren't from Europe. And they go to mostly, obviously, London, and now they've kind of expanded it out a little bit. But it is different in that aspect.
Well, I mean, you're talking about the big cities, right? It's Paris, France, Berlin, and Germany, London, and England. It's got to be. It's no doubt if they were to do it in Sweden, Finland, or Norway, that would be a no-brainer,
right?
In any of the Scandinavian countries, and that's probably I would guess that would be the safe place for the NHL to try their first outdoor game, would be in one of those countries.
Well, I wouldn't do it in England. That's not where I would go.
Well, I mean, look, I think if you put it in Croke Park in Ireland, I think the fans would come out because it'd be fun to be something different to do. I think they'd get behind it. I don't think that's the issue. I think on a bigger, it's a novelty thing for the NHL. Like we were talking the other day, the Stadium Series, the Winter Classics now is not as big as it used to be. It's kind of worn off. It's a novelty thing. So I think if they put it there locally, it'll sell out because it'd be like, hey, let's go see. This is new.
Okay.
Is anybody going to watch it back here? That's the question.
Oh, I don't think anyone watches these games they're going to play on Friday and Sunday. I mean, I don't think that the viewership, they throw these games on NHL Network.
Well, whatever the host city is, it's about money, right? The NHL's not going to go there unless they get their money.
That place, that Stockholm in Sweden on Friday and Sunday, is going to be packed.
Yeah.
They've got all the Swedish players on the Predators. You've got Sid. You've got all these guys. That is that could be an empty seat in the place. And that's good for them globally. They're more of a global game because of how many players in their league are from there. It makes sense. Doesn't make as much. The NFL has built something out of it to where it does make sense to go play games in Tottenham and then Wembley, and they're going to play in Madrid on Sunday morning for the first time and do all this nonsense. But as I told you last week, that's all the means to that end is there will be a full-time team in Europe within 5 to 10 years.
On the NFL side, you're saying?
There will be maybe a whole, I don't know, division could be a lot, but there will be a team and they will play, let's say, 2 or 3 home games in a row, and teams will go over there. They will then come to the States. They'll have a facility on the East Coast that will be like their secondary facility. They'll play 2 or 3 games on the road, then fly back and play 2 or 3 games at home. There will be a home team in London within 5 to 10 years.
Well, that would make it easier for the NHL, right? I mean, the NFL, I should say.
The NFL,
if you have one team that's based there, and if they're just called the European
and
whatever their moniker is,
I'm saying another one.
The only thing I'm saying is if they could keep their home games, they could play their home game in Berlin and then move it to London and play that. Like they would be the European home team.
15 to 20 years from now, there will be a Super Bowl in Wembley.
Yeah,
there will be.
Yeah,
15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
They will play a Super Bowl if this happens. Now the whole getting the team over there.
That's a lot of money you're taking out of the States. That's big bucks, man.
They go there. People go there now for these dopey games on Sunday morning. They get people there for the Super Bowl. People are still going to watch.
I know, but I think financially,
they're still going to watch. Now, here's the good part for us. They'd probably have to play the game at 3 p.m. instead of 6:30 at night. That could be a good thing. Might have to play the game on a Saturday instead of a Sunday. That could be a good thing for us. From a viewing perspective, it might be better.
Well, I think on an eyeball perspective with the Super Bowl, obviously, all fans of all teams are watching the Super Bowl regardless of who's in it. So I guess if you did move it off continent, it still becomes a huge viewing, streaming game. Yeah.
Play the tape in 15 years from now, Paulie. Come back and get this.
All right, so we'll have to buy some homes in Europe so we can go see these NHL
Play the tape. Now,
football games overseas.
So there's your hockey. Rangers are in Tampa tonight. Tomorrow we'll talk about the Islanders are in Vegas tomorrow night. Oh, Devils play tonight too. They're in Chicago. That's a TNT game, 9:30. Chicago's played well this year. Bedard's been hot, so that could be.
And on that note, we're going to talk Chicago Blackhawks and Chicago sports.
Yeah, tell us about that.
As Ted Manfred's going to join us.
There you go.
And then we're also going to do LA sports next week with Dennis Bernstein.
My boy, Denny.
We got our first guest coming on next week.
Love Denny.
As we start mixing things up here at Go Sports Radio, beyond just me and
all right,
Mike.
A few other things before we get out the door. Have you been watching the Knicks?
A little bit.
5 wins in a row, 5 double-digit wins in a row, 5 covers in a row, smashing teams. They destroyed the Grizzlies last night. I know the score looks a little closer. They were up like 25 in that game. They just destroyed the Grizzlies. This is the team that
Has the
everybody
competition been up to par?
Well, look.
And does it matter? You got to take the wins.
Out of the 5 wins that they had, first of all 5 are at home. So they've had a really long homestand, which ends, they actually have 2 more games too. They play the Orlando tonight, and then they play the Heat on Friday night. So a long homestand for the Knicks. Like they played the Nets Sunday. The Nets are embarrassing. That sucks.
We discussed that.
So they destroyed them.
I even forgot they were a team
the
in the area.
Wizards. You know, they beaten up Minnesota is a good win. And the Grizzlies aren't great who they beat last night. Now they have struggled with Orlando the past couple years. So I'm interested to see tonight if they have that same, early knockout ability where they're just going to blow their doors off of them in the first half. Because Orlando's a little bit of a tougher defensive team than some of these other outfits that the Knicks have been playing the last couple games. But they're playing well. It's what you want to see. Using more guys. They're a little deeper than they were last year. Brown's obviously going to be a lot more better with the rotation than Tibbs was a year ago in terms of just playing 6 guys into the ground. So
look, it's just helping New York out right now. If the Knicks are playing well, the Islanders are playing well, Devils are playing well, the Rangers can get back on the schneid here too. Just
Jets
to
and
get
Giants.
No, well, this is why I'm saying at least we've got something. I mean, this is a good time of the year because at least if one of your teams isn't doing too well, you can look into another sport in the area and they're going all right. It's the finish, buddy. It's the finish at the end in the spring that we got to worry about.
I'll ask you this one too. And I know you might not have saw any of this on the weekend. It stays in the New York basketball department. Did you watch any of St. John's in Alabama on Saturday? I know they had the big scene here at Borrelli's for that.
I saw a bit of Patino's post-game press conference, but I didn't get into the game, unfortunately.
Right. Well, it was a track meet. It was a high-scoring game. Alabama beat him at the Garden. It was a fun game. But St. John's, now, they have coming up, I think it's next week. Oh, yeah, the Players Festival. They play Iowa State in like a week and a half from now. But other than that, they play William and Mary on Saturday. So that should be another nice 50-point win for them, like that opening night game against Quinnipiac. But I thought it was a fun game. It's not the style of game I think that Rick Pitino wants to play. The game that they played against Alabama kind of forces that tempo on you. And Alabama wants to play games 106 to 95. That's kind of more their area than St. John's area. So I think they kind of got pulled into this kind of game that the Tide wanted to play with that one.
Ton of points.
So I did get a little
game
college
for the fans.
basketball in. Got a little in last night. Watched a little Kentucky, Louisville. Watched a little bit of Gonzaga and Creighton late night. So I trying to get in on everywhere, Paulie. Trying to grab a little bit from here, grab a little bit from there.
And you're doing a great job, Mike. It's not easy keeping an eye on everything that's going on.
I'm trying. One other thing from the NBA, and then we'll give me a little Borrelli's, and then we'll finish with the baseball.
You got it.
Nico Harrison.
Yes. Mavs.
Chopped.
Yes.
General manager of the Dallas Mavericks. Who could have saw that coming when he traded Luka to the Lakers back in February? Guy didn't even make it a year. And he got saved in the lottery, miraculously getting the top pick and getting Cooper Flagg. And he still couldn't survive that. The owner sitting in the front row the other night with a kid in a Luka jersey at the Maverick game. And then the next morning he got fired.
There's story that he's the scapegoat here. There's story that the owner wanted a new building.
There's a lot going on there with
she's
them and
not
the
getting it, and then supposedly she's like, one of these movie storylines where look, if I don't get what I
Mavs
want
now, right?
If I don't
get what I
want,
Mavs are involved.
I'm going to ship out the best players. So
see, this all Cuban sells the team, and this all happens. To the
I would
Mavericks.
wonder if Nico Harrison has a NDA, or I'd love to hear the book when it comes out, because
Nico
I think
Harrison.
there's a bigger story than him. I don't think he makes that decision on his own.
By all accounts, he did. But so you think that there's a little?
They're saying it's the worst trade in NBA history.
It probably is.
Why would you want to be attached to that?
So you think there's a little underbelly here?
Yes.
That there was something larger at play. You think that there's a conspiracy theory at play here? Is what
I wouldn't call it conspiracy theory. I would say that
you think that he's taken the hit.
There has been
a bad organizational
substantial
decision.
reporting that the new owner who took over from Mark Cuban, wants
Dumont.
new things,
Dumont.
and she's not getting them. And then it's kind of like the what was that soccer show on Apple?
The one with Ted Lasso?
Yeah, Ted Lasso. You know the basis of that story?
I haven't watched the
She
show.
hired him because she wanted the franchise to go under.
So it's basically Major League with
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, there you go.
Where she gets
another good example.
Lou Brown from the tire shop to manage the Indians and brings in
huge
Rick Vaughn from the California Penal League.
Yes, exactly.
So it was like that.
Yeah. That's what I heard. So, but,
well, either way, that didn't even make it a year, and Nico Harrison out. As the general manager.
I'm sure he's relieved. He'll probably land on his feet
with how much they were giving him the business, he probably was relieved. All right, tell us about Borrelli's.
All right, once again, lots of stuff going on here at Borrelli's Taproom, located at 912 West Beach Street here in Long Beach, New York. Come on down. In addition to great food, great pizza, great craft brews, specialty drinks. They also do lots of great entertainment here during the week and on the weekends. Coming up there this Friday, free show with the Reggae Dubstep tribute, the Dirty Rockers, 9 o'clock. Again, free show. Come on down. It's going to be a great night. Next Wednesday, again, Borrelli's get some of the top comedians coming in here doing shows. Colin Quinn will be here next Wednesday, November 19th. And then on Tuesday, December 2nd, Des Bishop will be here as well. Check out Borrelli'sTaproom.com for upcoming comics that are coming in here. And don't forget on Wednesday, December 10th, pasta making class here. They always sell out. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, make sure you come down. And then every day here for lunch, they've got great lunch specials from 12 to 3 p.m. Come on down, and definitely we want you guys to start coming down here and hanging out with me and Mike in-house here too. And just to let you know, they got the wood fried sandwich here, cup of soup and salad or fries for $12, $10 pizzas from 12 to 3 p.m. and the new Philly cheesesteak croquets, which Mike's going to get on the way home tomorrow. Buy one, get one free. And again, always great stuff, great atmosphere down here at Borrelli's Taproom. So come on down, hang out with us.
Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on a Wednesday. A couple more minutes left with us here. A few other things. Paulie's got his checklist. I want to make sure that we get everything on Paulie's checklist because we each come in with a list of things that we want to discuss.
And I got to get you my question of the day too.
You got to do that now.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to lead off. I
don't want to stead into something and then I lose it.
All right, so here, real quick, look, you're a big part of what you do as far as betting and gambling and everything else.
Right.
So obviously the big story this past week was Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz in Cleveland.
The two knuckleheads who make $20 million a year who decided to go
facing possible 65
and
years.
Throw balls instead of strikes for a measly, now not measly to me, measly to them, $4,000. So that was talk about brain.
We had the basketball scandal here at the beginning of the year, right?
Correct.
We have some more information coming out about lower division basketball. This is kind of, this seems to be the new thing that's happening, right? So you take these two guys in Cleveland. So here's my question of the day.
Sure.
So you and to all the fans listen out there too. And I don't know what it's like to be a Guardians fan. I don't know how much, if you're a fan of these two guys, how it makes them feel. But let me just throw it on you. And we're Yankees fans and Met fans and stuff. So let's use the Mets as an example here. If you found out that Francisco Lindor, and say
Edwin Diaz,
yes, were involved and they got indicted like this, okay, how would that make you feel as a fan? Would you cringe? Would it turn you off of, just being like, I'm asking, like, how would you feel if you were a fan? Like, if I was a Yankee fan, I found like Ben Rice and Aaron Judge were caught up in some kind of gambling thing, I would just feel, you're such a fan of these guys, you love these guys, you support these guys, and then you have these guys just kind of end up being bad guys. And then how does that make you feel?
Well, look, I think that we got to separate a couple things here because you just threw out not just the biggest name on the Yankees, but the biggest name in the sport. Mm-hmm. See, that would be a much different situation if you're talking about Aaron Judge. If you're talking about Luis Ortiz, I don't think anybody, I'm not going to say cares, but there's a level, Paulie, on who is it that we're talking about. Now, you said Francisco Lindor or Edwin Diaz. Those are star players on the Mets. I think that the only thing that fans care about at the end of the day is their team winning. And are the guys helping their team win? I don't think that fans, and I don't think I'm wrong here. I don't think fans, if they got bad guys on their team, care. As long as their team wins.
But if they're going to go to jail?
Well, if they're going to go to jail, then they go to jail. Bring me the next guy.
Because I think
when you're a fan, you can't get it. When you're a fan, you're a fan of the team. Yes, you have favorite players. Yes, you have guys who you root for. But at the end of the day, Paulie, it's always the laundry. Okay? And if you're not going to help me get to the end, get the hell out of the way. Get me somebody else.
So you're not the kind that's like, oh, Cody Bellinger, how could you do that, man? But like, or it's just screw it next.
I mean, I don't like you.
In.
But at the end of the day, like if I was a Cleveland fan, they still made the playoffs with these two jokers not being a part of it. So these guys left the team in late July or whatever it was, early August. Class A was best closer in the American League.
Mm-hmm.
And they still made the playoffs. And they rallied to make the playoffs and win the division. Rallied, and without him. So again, were there Indian fans, and I know they're the Guardians now, whatever. Mm-hmm. Were Cleveland fans upset? I think that they were just pumped that they made the play. I don't think that they were, were they cursing Emmanuel Clase at the end of the day? I just think that they think he's an idiot. I think at the end of the day, especially when you hear all the details of the story. Now, enormous star. You haven't had enormous stars. Like Clase is a really good player, but he's not an enormous star. He's a closer for Cleveland. He don't play for the Dodgers or the Yankees. Exactly. None of these guys are Pete Rose. So I think at the end of the day, fans care more about their team and who's helping me win.
There's a couple of young kids
if you're
in Cleveland
moron,
who are diehard Class A and Ortiz fans who are really upset right now.
I don't know. Well, then you know what? Then they should. I'm sorry for that. And of course, there's going to be
jerseys.
Well, you know what? I feel bad for those people. But at the end of the day, your team still made the playoffs. And they still went just as far as they would have went if those two guys were there.
All right.
Because they wouldn't have gone any further if they had those two guys.
All right. You're out there listening. Let us know what you guys think, too. And real last thing, quick, on the matter of baseball, two things here. Coaches of the year, Pat Murphy and the Brewers. And Stephen Vogt in the Guardians. Your thoughts on that?
Vogt being the manager of the year is 2 years in a row. See, I mean, the guy still won manager of the year, and he lost two pitchers in the end of July because they wanted to make $4,000 throwing a ball.
How do you feel about Schneider getting snubbed on that one?
I would have gave it to Schneider. I am always, when you talk about coaches of the year, managers of the year, 90% of the time I'm going to always give it to who took the team that was expected the least of and took them the farthest. Now, you got to remember, these things are voted on before the playoffs. If you knew Schneider was going to get the Blue Jays to the World Series, it's 100% Schneider. I think it was anyway for them winning the division and being the 1 seed. He probably should have got it. This Cleveland team, they love this vote in Cleveland. I mean, all right, he's made the playoffs 2 years, but we can give it to someone else next year. Pat Murphy, I have no problem with either because I think people, once again, I mean, he had the best record in the NL with the Brewers. So they were expected. I think their win total was like 82.5, and the guy won 96 games. So I think
reinforces the difference between a regular season in a baseball and your playoff accomplishments as well, too. How different those two seasons are. Because baseball is baseball primarily is a moneymaker.
Yeah.
It's the regular season. That's where everything is. That's where people are coming to see your stars and the ups and downs of that season. And then depending on what happens in the playoffs, a total different thing. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, these two guys haven't had any success yet, getting to the World Series or winning a championship yet. So it just goes to show you. And even though Schneider had just an absolutely amazing year, taking the last place.
And as a side for this, Paulie, you bring up something else here. There's nobody that does a worse job with this stuff than baseball. Now, last week I bellyached about their free agency and how they should be like NBA, NHL, NFL. You should know what day free agency is, and everyone should, for the most part, go and sign their players that day. They should make an event out of it. It should be a big thing. They also do an awful job at this. They're giving out awards this week. Season ended a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Who cares at this point? Like honestly, who cares?
Well, they're just getting it done before the meetings start.
Look, NFL does a big thing a couple nights before the Super Bowl. They do their award show. Everyone's in town for the Super Bowl. They have everybody there. They give out the MVP. They give out everything. And they still haven't decided who the champion is. NBA does the same thing. Playoffs start, they roll out all their awards. You know who the MVP is for the most part before you even get to the NBA Finals. Hockey does it too. Stanley Cup, bang. You know, they're announcing, coach, all these awards during the playoffs. Baseball finishes their season, plays an entire month of playoffs, and it ain't even like it's the day after that. Then they wait another 2 weeks for these dopey meetings that they have.
And they really don't do anything for the draft either. The MLB draft.
Well, because there's 200 rounds. Like you can't. It's hard to. It's just.
But it's not really featured.
And no one watches college baseball, whether you like it. And some people do. Don't get mad. I know some people do watch, but most people don't. But waiting 6-8 weeks after your season, like I forgot that Judge was even up for. Judge is going to probably win the MVP this week or Colorado. Like that was a big debate at the end of September. Who cares anymore? Like I'm serious. Can we market our sport a little bit better?
Well, maybe
and your awards.
They feel they just don't need to.
Speaking of those meetings, I said it before. Cashman's not there. Boone's not there. This is a thing that
They're
traditionally,
busy, man.
This is the thing that traditionally every general manager. Now there was a story yesterday. At first, he missed his flight, and then it was a last minute thing. Whatever. It's just more arrogant Yankee BS. To be quite honest with you.
Do they need to be down there?
And if there's some story that comes out tomorrow that says Brian Cashman had a family emergency and he couldn't make it, I'm sorry. All right. But you know what? It just smells of more Yankee arrogance.
Well, does he need to be there? Do they both need to be there?
Well, look.
I mean, the roster's set. They're good. No worries.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, from that aspect, sure, Paulie. If you want to look at it that way, then yeah, they don't need to be there.
Compete for the division again.
Compete for the division again. Who cares?
They really got to be there.
As long as they play 2 or 3 home playoff games, they up the price of the Heinekens in center field from $21 to $24, and it's $56 to park instead of $49. They're going to be fine this year.
They've had this template now in place for, 9? How many years has Booney been in this now?
So down on them. They should be. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Cashman said he's going to go out and get what they need, buddy. So,
and what is that? Everything? You get a full team except for Judge?
Look, it's like Christmas. It's going to be a surprise. And us Yankee fans, we love surprises.
Unfortunately, that's surprise because with baseball's free agent, it'll be about January 25th when you find out who's going to be on the team. A week and a half before they get to Tampa.
Go Janks, baby.
It's amazing the bad job that they do.
Yeah, Booney and Cash, they need a bit of rest after, the Blue Jays.
Boone's in Arizona visiting family. That was where he is.
Look, he's been on the road with the Yankees all year, Needs a little time off.
I've had enough. All right, we're back tomorrow. All the NFL games for Week 11. The big college football games, we'll go over them. Islanders are in Vegas tomorrow night. We've got a bunch of other things that we're going to discuss as well. Maybe I'll get the story of what happened to Brian Cashman between now and then, and we can either apologize or give him the business a little bit more, depending on what it is. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. Great job by everybody viewing on the chat. Lots of viewers out there on the stream, which was really cool to see today.
Come down and have lunch.
Come down and have lunch with us too. Great job as always, Paulie. We'll see you back tomorrow. High noon East, right here on Go Sports Radio from Borrelli's. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.